Federal Economic Competition Law, in its Article 53, states that absolute monopolistic practices, contracts, agreements, arrangements, or combinations between competing economic agents whose subject or effect is any of the following are considered illegal. First of all, set, raise, arrange, or manipulate the sale or purchase price of goods or services at which they are offered or demanded in the markets. Number two, establish the obligation not to produce, process, distribute, market, or acquire, but only a restricted or limited quantity of goods, or the provision or transition of a restricted or limited number, volume, or frequency of services. Number three, divide, distribute, assign, or impose portions of segments of a current or potential market for goods and services through customers, suppliers, specific or determinable times or spaces. Number four, establish, arrange, or coordinate bids or abstaining bids, contest, auctions. And final number five, exchange information with any of the objects or effects referred to in the preceding sections. An example in real life of absolute monopolistic practices will be when the CAFESE sanctions 7 South American steamship carriers because of the absolute monopolistic practices. The 581 million penalty included South American steamship carriers Kawasaki, Canline, Mitsui, Nippon, Yusen, and Wallenius Wilson for agreeing and executing agreements to segment the market for automobile maritime transport services. Now let's talk about relative monopolistic practices. The Federal Competition Law states in its article number 54 that relative monopolistic practices are considered to be those consisting of any act, contract, agreement, or procedure or combination of that, framing any of the cases referred to in Article 56 or Federal Economics Law. Carry out one or more economic agents that individually or jointly have substantial power in the same relevant market in which the practice is carried out, and has or may have as an object or effect in the relevant market or in a related market, unduly displace other economic agents, substantially impede their access, or establish exclusive advantages in favor of one or more economic agents. Again, a real life example of relative monopolistic practices is what happened in Cancun's airport, where the cafes decided to sanction Cancun Airport for engaging in a relative monopolistic practice by preventing new entrants from entering the taxi market. This practice, known as refusal of treatment, means that its capacity as concessionary of the Cancun's aerodrome was the only one that could lease the spaces and grant access right to use for airport infrastructure to taxi concessionaires to offer their services. For this reason, Cafés imposed a fine of 72,540,000 pesos in order to correct and suppress anti-competitive conduct. Sanctions for these practices can go from 5 to 10 years of prison, penalties equivalent to over 200,000 minimum salaries, penalties of 10% of your income, and inability to work on directed positions over 5 years. These only are some of the punishments.